It's happening. Imagine being chosen to live through the moment that could redefine it all. 2024 has been unlike any other year. If you felt like something is shifting, like the very fabric of reality is loosening, you're not imagining it. From the skies to the earth itself, there's been a whisper, a subtle yet unshakable force trying to tell us something. But here's where we challenge everything we've been told. What if this ending isn't about chaos or collapse, but about the greatest unveiling humanity has ever witnessed? The simulation, the one we sense but can't quite explain, isn't mechanical. It's spiritual, a veil, a construct of illusions that has held humanity in its grip for lifetimes. And now, that veil feels thin, it's trembling, it's dissolving. What does it mean when the illusion starts to break, when the patterns no longer hold? Keep listening, because the signs are everywhere. Look closely at this year, because 2024 hasn't played by the rules. The skies have been alive with messages, 4 consecutive supermoons, rare celestial events that feel intentional, almost like cosmic signals. And then there are the movements, sightings in our skies, patterns that don't add up, and the silence that surrounds them. Have you noticed? When answers should come, all we get are shrugs and half-truths. It's not just the heavens either. Down here on Earth, things feel off. The energy is heavier. Recently, there have been unpredictable, unsettling events that ripple across the collective like a wave of disbelief. Decisions that don't make sense. Disruptions that feel like fractures in what we once thought was normal. These aren't isolated incidents. They're threads in a larger tapestry, one that suggests something profound is on the horizon. So here's the question. What happens when the patterns stop holding? When reality starts to stretch? We're getting closer to that answer, and it's not what you think. What if the chaos isn't chaos at all, but the unraveling of something we were never meant to live within? 2024 has felt surreal, the kind of year where reality itself seems to slip through your fingers. Unexplainable events, disruptions, a sense that the ground beneath us isn't as steady as it used to be. Could it be that these strange happenings are not random? What if they're whispers of something far greater? The dismantling of the spiritual construct we've called reality? Think about it. Everything feels out of balance. Movements in the sky, unexplained phenomena, and decisions on Earth that seem almost incomprehensible. It's as if reality is fraying at the edges, like a veil, lifting just enough for us to catch glimpses of something more. But here's the deeper question. Have you felt it? The way things feel different, not just out there in the world, but within yourself. Moments that don't add up. Synchronicities too precise to ignore. Intuitive flashes that feel more real than the news we're told to believe. This year has made us ask, is reality breaking, or are we waking up? The spiritual simulation isn't breaking apart by accident, it's a process of dismantling, a peeling back of the layers of illusion we've lived within for lifetimes. These strange cosmic and earthly events, this feeling of imbalance, might not be random disruptions. They could be reflections of a deeper truth, that the world we see isn't the whole story. As the illusion starts to dissolve, the natural and cosmic worlds seem to echo this dismantling, manifesting in surreal, almost symbolic ways. Could it be that we're witnessing the cracks in a construct that's held us in separation? Could it be that the simulation, the veil, is finally showing us its seams? And if that's true, what might we discover on the other side? The simulation isn't just an illusion, it's the greatest test of our time. We've heard whispers of the simulation in modern ideas, but ancient spiritual teachings have been pointing to it for centuries. The Vedic concept of Maya, the illusion of the material world. The Buddhist idea of seeing through duality to achieve enlightenment. What we call the simulation is something deeper, the illusion of separation, of fear, of forgetting who we truly are. For lifetimes we've been caught in this web. We believed we were just bodies, disconnected from one another, bound by a physical world that seemed absolute. But that world, that simulation, is crumbling, and it's not destruction, it's liberation. The end of the simulation isn't the end of the world, it's the beginning of truth. What if the dismantling we're witnessing is the universe inviting us to remember, to awaken from the illusion of duality and return to the knowing that we are one with each other, with nature, and with the divine itself? This is what spiritual traditions have been telling us, that to awaken, we must see through the veil. The simulation isn't a glitch in some cosmic machine. It's a test of our ability to recognize the deeper truth beyond what we see. And now, as the year draws to a close, the signs are unmistakable. The energies around us are shifting. The veil is thinner than it's ever been. The end isn't the end. It's the beginning of everything we've been searching for. If the simulation is unraveling, then what comes after it? Is it chaos? Is it darkness? Or is it something far greater than we've ever imagined? Imagine a world where the lines between the spiritual and the material dissolve, where we no longer feel trapped in cycles of fear and limitation. What if this is the moment when we finally wake up to the truth of who we are, a truth that has always been waiting for us just beyond the veil? This shift isn't about leaving the earth behind or stepping into some abstract void. It's about seeing the world differently. It's about living in a way that is more real, more connected, and more aligned with the divine. The pain and confusion we've been feeling, it's not the end. It's a doorway to peace. The collapse of the illusion is the expansion of truth. It's not destruction, it's freedom. Of course, this can feel overwhelming. We've been so conditioned to see the world as fixed, as something we can measure and predict. And now, as that foundation shakes, it's natural to feel fear. But let me reassure you, you don't need to be afraid. You don't need to resist. Everything is going to be okay. This transformation is not something to fear. It's something to embrace. The end of the simulation isn't the end of life. It's the beginning of a deeper, richer existence. We will still walk this earth, but we will see it with new eyes. We will still live our lives, but we will live them with more clarity, more purpose, and more love. The question is not whether the change is coming. It's already here. The question is, are you ready to step into it? As the truth rises, the old illusions will fight to keep you asleep. Every transformation has its resistance. When a great shift occurs, the forces of the past don't let go easily. The simulation, the illusion, will try to hold on. It will do everything it can to keep us tethered to fear, chaos, and distraction. Look at the world right now. The relentless flood of fear-driven headlines, the crises that seem to come one after another, leaving us breathless, the distractions that pull us away from our inner peace. These are not coincidences, they are the illusions fighting back. The louder the chaos, the closer we are to the breakthrough. These distractions are symptoms, not the story. They are the final echoes of an old world that is fading away. When you feel overwhelmed, when the fear feels too heavy, remind yourself of this. The darkness always fights hardest just before the light breaks through. This is not the time to lose yourself in fear. This is the time to ground yourself in truth. Breathe. Stay present. Remember that the chaos is not here to destroy you. It's here to remind you of what's real. We are not powerless in this transformation. In fact, we are the ones driving it. The illusions can only hold us if we choose to cling to them. But when we see them for what they are, when we let go of fear and embrace the truth, they lose their power. The world may feel like it's spinning out of control, but it's not. It's realigning. And the most important thing you can do right now is stay steady, stay aware, and trust that what's on the other side of this is worth every moment of uncertainty. The illusions are loud, but the truth is unshakable, and it's waiting for you. 2024 has been a year that no one can ignore. It feels as if everything is happening all at once, cosmic, earthly, spiritual. The energy is undeniable. It's heavy, intense, and charged, like the entire universe is holding its breath for something monumental. Think about it. Month after month, we've been witnessing extraordinary celestial phenomena. 4 supermoons in a row, illuminating our skies like beacons. Solar flares disrupting the energy of the planet, almost as if the sun itself is shaking us awake. And then there are the bizarre, unexpected events. Things that seem impossible to explain, as though reality itself is bending. This isn't chaos, it's a countdown, a build-up to something greater. Here we are now, in December. Can you feel it? This is the crescendo. Everything we've experienced this year has been leading to this point. It's as if we're standing on the threshold of a new spiritual chapter. This isn't random. Every ancient tradition tells us that the universe moves in cycles: birth, death, rebirth, and we are at the end of one cycle and the start of something entirely new. The energy of 2024 isn't trying to break us, it's trying to break us open. If you felt restless, overwhelmed, or like you're carrying the weight of the world, it's because you are. You're feeling the pressure of this shift. But don't mistake this pressure for destruction. It's the final push before transformation. The universe isn't just transforming, it's asking you to transform with it. All of these changes aren't just happening on a global or cosmic level, they're happening within you. Right now, the universe is calling on you to pay attention, to notice the subtle signs in your own life. Are you seeing synchronicities, numbers repeating, dreams with messages you can't ignore? Are you finding that old patterns no longer serve you, or that your intuition is louder than ever before? This isn't a coincidence. This is your spirit waking up to the shift. The chaos outside mirrors the resistance within. Every storm we see in the world reflects the transformation happening inside each of us. The fear, the uncertainty, the clinging to what's familiar, that's the resistance. But it's also an opportunity. This is the time to turn inward, to ground yourself in practices that connect you to your higher self. Meditate, journal, walk in nature. Quiet your mind so you can hear what your spirit has been trying to tell you. Let go of fear, and you will make space for something far greater: peace, clarity, and truth. This shift isn't about escaping the world. It's about stepping into it more fully, but with a new perspective. It's an invitation to leave behind fear-based thinking, to break free from the limitations of the illusion, and to step into a higher state of consciousness. The simulation is ending, the veil is thinning, but the awakening? That's entirely up to you. Take a moment to reflect on everything that's unfolded this year. From the skies above to the earth beneath our feet, the signs have been impossible to ignore. It's as if the universe itself has been shaking us, asking us to open our eyes to the truth. This isn't just about the world around us, it's about the world within us. The dismantling of the simulation isn't some abstract concept. It's a deeply personal journey of awakening, of seeing through the illusions that have kept us bound to fear, doubt, and separation. This is not the end of the world. It's the end of the old world and the beginning of something extraordinary. If you're still watching, I'd like to thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed the content and want to see more, please consider clicking the subscribe button. Your support is very appreciated. Feel free to share your experiences or thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, take care and subscribe for more insightful content.